Sairam. Thank you, Brother Ravi, for the introduction. The patient's always under anesthesia, so there's no danger. Thank you all once again for giving us this opportunity to visit yet another home of Swami over here in the Trinidad area. Every center we've been to has been so beautiful. Each one is a different aura and uniqueness by itself. As Brother Ravi said, I was born into a Sai family, and my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, is the one who introduced our whole family to Swami. I'll just share a small incident of how she came to Swami, the beginning of everything. My father was a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force, and in 1971 he was fighting the war with Pakistan. So we were stationed up in remote area of northern India, and there was no communication obviously due to the war times. There was no way to get the word out, and my sister and I were just babies at that time. My grandparents lived in Bangalore, and my grandmother was an all India radio singer. She was a classical singer and she used to sing on the radio. She was really, really worried because for days on end there was no word about my father or us. So she, as usual, used to pray to all her gods, and this was always weighing on her mind. So one day she was at a friend's place and she was just voicing this out, and she said, "I'm so worried, I don't know what to do, I don't know what more prayers I can do and what more offerings to do. I'm not getting any word of them, and the war is still on and I don't know what is happening." So there was this doctor from the hospital in Bangalore, the general hospital. I think her name was Dr. Saraswatama. So she heard my grandma talking and she said, "Why don't you come with me and see Sai Baba?" So my grandmother said, "Sai Baba, why? What will he do?" So she said, "No, just come and see for your peace of mind, just come and see him." So my grandma said, "Okay, last resort, I'll go there also." So she went with her the next day to Vrindavan for the darshan, and when she was sitting there, Swami came out for darshan, and as he was going around, he came up to her and he gave her vibhuti, and then he said, "Don't worry, you will get a call tonight, everything is fine." And she came back home. She didn't know what to believe in this. It was the first time. So she came back home and there was a telegram waiting from my father saying, "I'm back, everything is fine, and we are all safe." And that was the change for her. She said, if Swami could tell me this, then what more? And then she started going back, and then Swami looked at her and said, "Enough of singing for the radio, come and sing for me." And from that day, she was one of the lead singers at Vrindavan, and for 40 years she sang over there. Many of the common bhajans like Rasavi Lola Nandalala or Ao Gopala Giridhari, these are her compositions. And the amazing thing is she only knew Kannada and Tamil, South Indian languages, and English of course. But she would compose bhajans in Hindi, in Telugu, in any language, and she herself didn't know the meaning when the composition was coming. So she would ask my mother, because we knew Hindi growing up in the north, and she would ask my mother, "I'm getting this line, what does it mean?" And then my mother would tell her. So that's how her compositions were. And I think Ao Gopala is one of the compositions Swami used to love. Whenever she used to sing it, Swami will come out from wherever he is and come and sit over there. And there was one time where she came to visit us in the north, in Allahabad, where the Ganges and the Saraswati, three rivers meet. It's a very holy place. So we were stationed there, and she came for the vacation. And as we were going in the boat in the Ganges, she started composing. There's a big Shiva temple in Banaras. This was between Banaras and Allahabad. The big Shiva temple there. So she started composing, and unfortunately she didn't pass her singing skills to me, so I can't sing that bhajan, but it's Hey Vishwanatha Jagannatha, it's very common. She composed about, I think, 4 lines of it, and then she was stuck. She just could not get anything further. How much ever she tried, she was there for a month, nothing worked. She came back to Vrindavan, and then, as usual, went back to her routine, singing bhajans, and suddenly one day when she was there, Swami called her in. And he said, sing that bhajan for me that you got. She said, "Swami, it's not complete. I'm not getting the words." He said, "No, sing." And so she sang the 4 lines or whatever that she'd got, and Swami completed the rest for her. And that was the whole bhajan. So with that, I will hand over to Sunder and let him share his experiences and transfer us to Parthi.
Sri Sai Ram. Thank you, Brother Abhi, for your very generous words. Thank you, Maya, for bringing the thoughts of those bhajans. So where she left off, I just want to sing that beautiful bhajan, Hey Vishwanatha Jagannatha, which her grandmother composed. I'm sure I won't be able to do justice the way she sings, and she's 86 years old, she still sings wonderfully. But she taught me this bhajan, so I want to offer it to her and of course sing it in the praise of our beloved Lord. Hey Vishwanatha Jagannatha, Hey Vishwanatha Jagannatha, Hey Vishwanatha Jagannatha, Hey Vishwanatha Jagannatha Janana Shailagirishwara Hara Shambho Hara 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 Shambho Hara 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 Shambho Shailagirishwara Shiva Shambho Shailagirishwara Shiva Shambho Sharanam Sharanam Sai Shambho Sharanam Sharanam Sai Shambho Sharanam Sharanam Sai Shambho Sharanam Sharanam Sai Shambho Devi Vishwanatha Jagannatha Hara 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 Shambho. My most grateful pranams at the beloved feet of our Mother Sai. Brother Faiz has put me in the Mother Sai mode because we had an interview today at the radio for the radio program which is going to be broadcasted tomorrow. And he brought tears to my eyes and his eyes, and it was a satsangh within really closed walls. I've never had one like that before. But thank you, brother. And I shared some beautiful stories of Swami's love. And he said I should share it with you all, so I'll begin from there. I take it as Swami's command. I'll begin from those beautiful stories. Just to show you how infinite is Swami's love, how simple is his love, and how powerful is Baba's love. Like I said yesterday, we are sharing, like Brother Abhi said, we are sharing the stories of the physical side. When I come here, you share with me the stories of the cosmic side. And in a satsang like this, it becomes wonderful. The energy of the cosmic side fills me, and the love of the physical side that flows through us fills your heart. And so in this, it truly becomes a Vishwarup Darshan. It truly becomes, for me, I look at it as, this would have been the experience of Arjuna when he saw Krishna. Because he had Krishna with him physically, and yet when he saw his magnificent power, he saw both. And he was just completely, he attained the state of ultimate surrender after seeing this. So for us, as students of Bhagwan, it's an extremely humbling experience to see, oh my God, it is with this Swami that we actually spent time. It was this Swami who came and served us sweets and savory. It was this Swami who did this or this. So for us, it's such an humbling, eye-opening experience that it transforms us every day, every moment. So I thank you all for giving me this opportunity to stand here in the midst, and I consider every one of you a saint, that you have accepted Swami, you pray to Swami, and I'm just privileged to be a humble instrument to share his love and share those little experiences and the little lessons I learned with you all. You know, Bhagwan's organization never goes for money. Baba never asks for money. And this is two stories about money, involved money. I don't know how that came in, but it just happened. And it's beautiful, two beautiful stories. One is, Baba would always say, my hand will never be like this. My hand will never be like this. It has come to bless, so it will always be like this. And that is why he never said, please go to the office and donate some money, do some good deed. Never. He inspired people to do good, and then the goodness took off its own speed, if you will, its own life, if you will. My father, in about 85 or 86, he moved to Puttaparthi. He finally sold his house in Bombay, took Swami's permission. By then they had got a series of interviews, and Swami said, okay, now come and settle down in the ashram. And my father sold his house in Bombay, and then he came to the ashram to live with Swami. When he came, within a month of his coming to the ashram, Baba was very gracious enough to give my father a room, and my mother, of course, give my parents a room to stay in. For, during those days, we didn't have too many of those round buildings and everything. So there were some of the round buildings were being built, but there was up to W6, West Prashanti 6 buildings were there. And so right on the end of W6, we got a room. And it was very difficult for devotees to get a room. When they come for festivals and occasions, they would stay in the shed, they would be outside. So room was in constant demand. So my father felt very, very obliged to Swami, very uncomfortable. Oh my God, as soon as I came, he gave me a room to stay. I know how much devotees suffer for it. And he's just given us a room to stay like this. What do I do? So he said, I must donate some money to Swami. Being an accountant, everything has to finally balance out in money, I guess. God's love can never be measured in money. Can never be measured in money. Cannot. You cannot approach God with a figure in mind. It just doesn't work. Because money is not bad, but money denotes value to an object. The moment you put money in front of God, you are valuing Him. How can you put a value to something which is so priceless? So how much money can you put forward? Even if the entire world's earth's wealth is put at His feet, you still can't value Bhagwan, right? So that's why money doesn't play a role in God's scheme of things. It just doesn't. And that was another proof of Bhagwan's divinity. He didn't allow it to play in His role. So, but my father, of course, he had his own lessons to learn. He somehow thought, no, I have to donate some money. So he said, this room must be worth something, so I have to give some amount of money to Swami. So he asked me, Sunder, I sold the house in Bombay, we are settled, and we have to give some money to Swami. And I said, listen, do not bring the topic of money and Bhagwan together. It's a big mistake. He said, no, you don't understand. You are young, you just talk like this. But I have to do something. Thank you. That makes me feel tall, so I'm happy. So I said, please don't bring Bhagwan and money together. Don't involve me, don't ask me. I will tell you, stay away from it. Bhagwan has given you a room today. Keep it, accept it as his prasad. Tomorrow he'll ask you to stay in the shed. Accept that also as prasad. Why are you getting so agitated and so I have to do something to Swami to express my gratitude, My father said, yeah, okay, I'll do something. I don't know what he did. Well, I knew when Swami came to me and told me what he did. But in 1 or 2 days later, I'm sitting for darshan. Swami came out. He had a white envelope in his hand, the long one where people write letters to Swami. He came straight to me and he told me, take your baggage, take your parents, get out of the ashram. I didn't understand what was going on. I had no clue. The only time I talked to my father about this money business was 2-3 days earlier or so. And I told him, you can't do it. He said, okay, I'll think about it. But he didn't tell me what he was going to do. I didn't know what it was. So imagine me sitting for darshan, Baba comes and says, pack your baggage and go, get out. Take your father and mother, everybody get out, go back home. I was stunned. I didn't know whether he was joking, pulling my leg, so I just knelt up. He said, Kucho, sit down. I told you, don't go home. And I started crying immediately because I got terribly worried. What did I do something wrong? What went wrong? I didn't understand at all. And then I said, Swami, Swami, Swami. I just kept saying because I didn't know what to do. And Swami said, who asked your father to give this? And he threw it at my lap. So I picked up and opened it and I saw a check. I saw my father's handwriting. Then I realized what happened. He said, did I ask your father money? Did I ask you money? What is this? I know where the money comes from for my work. I know your father cannot afford. Who asked your father to give so much money? Did I ask? Go, get out of the ashram. I just tore it right in front of Swami. I said, no Swami, no Swami, no Swami. He doesn't know Swami. He's new Swami. Go tell him if he does anything like that, he can go home. And Swami walked away. And to me that, on the one side, was how fierce he was about when and where the money comes into his mission was also his will. How it came. He wouldn't just take from anybody and everybody. He knew what was happening, when it was happening. And to me that was an amazing thing that if I give you love, if I show a sign of affection to you, don't put an amount next to it. Don't put an amount next to it. And for me, the way God reacts, that's the way God reacts when we put an amount next to it. And when Baba says, you have made God into a bargaining power, you know, God help me with this, I will send you my first month's check if you get me this job, or I will donate 11 rupees to you, or 11,000 rupees to you, whatever it is. Just pray to Him the way you want. Out of love, He will give you much more than what you ask for. But don't put an amount to it. To me, that was really how Mother Sai said, this is my home. If you go to your mother's place or your parents' place and you stay there for 2 days and then say, how much mom should I give you for the bedroom, how much rent should I pay, and how much money for the food? I mean, if you stay 5 years, yes, please play mother. I'm kidding. I don't think any mother will like to accept something from a child. So you cannot put something put an amount to a mother's love. And for me, that was a direct message from Swami. Who are you to put this money? I'm giving you love. This is, come and stay in I've opened my door for you. So it was Swami's message to my parents and message to me, and I think I take that as a message where when it comes to God, money does no place at all. There's another very beautiful story for which I was a witness and I was the medium, and I watched this story unfold, a beautiful divine story that I often share, and I had forgotten for a while, and luckily today Brother Faiz's company and the thoughts that were flowing, the story came to my mind. I think I should share this because it's a very beautiful story of the omniscience and omnipotence that we attribute to Swami on the one side and yet the humanness on the other side. So one evening I'm with Swami upstairs, and then suddenly he calls me around 8 o'clock or so in the night, and he says, he picks up a brown envelope, he puts two big bundles of notes inside. I know that's a big amount going into the bundle. He puts 2 or 3 like this, he wraps it up and he gives it to me, and I hold it, and he says, go to so-and-so room, so-and-so place, ask for this man's name. He gave me the name it ends in Babu, so let's call him Babu. So ask for Babu, go and give it to him. And Swami had a sense of urgency. So I was waiting, go give it. And so I took it and I went immediately, and I rushed and I ran, literally. I ran all the way because Swami said, go give it, and he said in urgency, I might as well do it. I didn't want to get into trouble for being late. And so I ran all the way, went to the building, went all the way to the 3rd floor and started asking, and then I found an old man and his daughter were just leaving the room and they were locking the door. So as they were locking the door, I had said, I thought there's no other houses left, this must be the room. And he looks like a visitor because he had a steel trunk and a small bedding, it's all rolled up and kept. So I went up to him, I said, are you Babu? And he had his dhoti and kurta, he looked like a simple villager. So I said, are you Babu? He said, yes, I'm so and so Babu. And I said, oh, thank you. And I He said, Baba has given this for you. And he couldn't believe. He said, Baba has given it for me. I said, Baba has given it for you. And I waited because, I have to go and report to Swami what happened. So he opened the envelope and immediately started crying. Then he showed it to his daughter. And the daughter looked and the daughter started crying. Both of them started crying. And he said, Kucho, Kucho, Baba, Kucho, Kucho. And he asked me, really did Baba give you? Are you a very rich man? I said, no, I am not a rich man. Who gave this money? Baba gave. Really Baba gave it to you? I said, yes, I was in his room just now, 5 minutes ago Baba gave it. Then he sat down, he couldn't believe his eyes. He said, Ayyo, Rama, Sai Rama, Sai Rama. He kept on crying, very emotional. And I was waiting for all this to finish because I had to understand what it is, because I have to go and report to Swami. So I was just sitting and listening to this. And then he started explaining to me. He said, you know why he gave me this? I said, I don't know. But that was a lot of money. So, you know why he gave me this? I said, I don't know. Now I will tell you. He said, it is for my daughter's wedding. It is for my daughter's wedding he has given me. You don't know. And then he explains to me. He said, I came here a week ago, and I came here because I was a childhood friend. I'm from a neighboring village. I know Sai Baba since he was a young child, young boy. I know him. He's my very good friend. We were all together. And somehow he became rich. This is not some Sai devotee doing tapas and bhajans and into centers and projects and all. This is a simple villager. So somehow he became rich. I stayed where I am. Adanta ikkada rasundika. It's all our fate, So he thought Swami's fate, he became rich. He said, my daughter's wedding came, and I came to Baba. I said, since he's my childhood friend, I'll go and see if I can get a chance to talk to him and tell him that you got so much money, give some money for my daughter's wedding. So he came and he saw the amount of people for Baba's darshan, and he saw the crowds, and he had said, there is no way I can get to Baba. He probably tried here and there asking people. There was no chance he could get in that during those few days he stayed. They didn't come with an agenda. He didn't have a return ticket planned to go back. But he thought I will somehow stay and ask. And he stayed 4 or 5 days. He realized that he didn't even get a glance from Swami. And he was lost in the crowd. And there were so many VIPs going in and out. He said, Arey, this Baba is unapproachable. There is no point being here. And so he decided, okay, this is the waste of time sitting here. It is, nothing is going to happen. So he told his daughter, let us go back. So that night they were planning to leave and head back to the neighboring village. And he said, you have brought this money to me. This is for my daughter's wedding. I know. I came for this. When I heard that story, I was reminded of the story of Krishna and Sudama. Almost in every avatarhood, some of these stories repeat itself. Really. When I was young and I heard about Shama being bit by a snake and Shirdi Baba telling him, go away, get out, and Shama being upset, and then his poison went away. When I relate that to my own life and I'm thinking I was bit by a snake, Swami said, as a drama chestnut. He made it a drama by just willing it then and there. The stories get repeated. The avatar repeats the same story just to remind us of the same love. Sudama and Krishna, most of you know the story. He was in abject poverty, childhood friend of Krishna. So Krishna becomes a king. Sudama, I don't remember the details of the story, but it really doesn't matter. Sudama goes to Krishna to seek financial help, to seek some materialistic help. But he sees Krishna, he sees the grandeur, and of course in this case there's a slight twist. Krishna, welcomed him and said, hey, how are you? And they were discussing the glory of the old days. He was so lost in the company of Krishna that he forgot to even ask. This story has another moral, and I'll share that again maybe tomorrow, because that's a very powerful story I want to relate, and I'm thinking of that when I share the story, but I don't want to get distracted. So Sudama comes home and look what he finds. He finds a mansion instead of a hut. Krishna made arrangements. So here I was actually a witness to this, where this poor man He was not he didn't even believe Sai Baba is God. I don't think he even went home thinking Sai Baba is God. But he just felt completely overwhelmed because at that point they needed that money to run that. He said, this is more than I want. So he took out one bundle. It was probably 10,000 rupees. I don't know. He took out one bundle. He said, nah, I don't want so much. You give this back to Sai Baba. I don't want so much. I said, no, I can't take it back. Baba has given you. You keep it. He was so happy, so happy, so happy. That is Bhagavan's love. He knew everyone who came through those doors into the ashram. He knew it. Whether he looked at you or he didn't look, whether he spoke to you or he didn't speak, whether he took your letter or didn't take your letter, whether he was 5 feet away from you, 5 inches away from you, or 500, 5,000 feet away from you, or 3,000, 4,000 miles away from us. Distance did not matter, does not matter to Swami. Time did not matter, does not matter to Swami. He is as much alive to you and me as he was when he had a physical body. Because he was not and is not limited to anything physical. He was not and is not limited to any time and space. So he is available to us as much today as he was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. He is very much alive next to us. Alive as Krishna is, as Rama is. He has come, his name has imprinted itself upon the face of the earth, and it will last for centuries and yugas, just as the name of Rama and Krishna has been. One more name for people to evolve. One more form for devotees to fall in love with. There's one more option God has provided. Okay, this is outdated technology, version 10 of the Kalki avatar. He's brought a new version. You know, like Windows 7 has come now. Windows 8. Like this, he's come. Here, one more form. Does this appeal to you? Something we can relate to at our generation? Of course it does. So he gives you a chance to reach out to the divine. I want to share with you today another wonderful quality I saw with Swami. And I want to relate that to the Bhaja Govindam which I sang yesterday. I want to take it one step at a time and share each one quality of Swami that I take home every day. Every day, these are the qualities that inspire me. The first one I shared was discipline yesterday. I really understood what discipline is. And I'm sure all of us did as boys, young boys there. We understood what discipline is watching Swami. Watching Swami, being there. When a person is disciplined and when a person lives an integral life, that when his thought, word and deed are one, I saw with Swami, what happens? Look, his presence made a difference. You know, when he came out for darshan, there'll be a hush in the crowd. Whether there were 10 people, silence. 10,000 people, silence. 100,000 people, absolute silence. Entire Purna Chandra will be packed, bhajans, right? But when the curtain opens and Swami steps out, little tiny figure, there'll be a hush in the crowd. If at all there is any voice you would hear, it will be Sai Ram, Swami, Sai Ram. That's it. How was one little figure able to command that? It's amazing. How did that happen? I told you I was brought, for some of you have been to my earlier satsangs, I have shared how I was brought up in many satsangs and pujas. And you know what I saw as a child? When Guruji will come before him, the volunteers will say, Guruji is coming, silence, silence, Guruji is coming, silence. And the poor Guruji will be sitting in front of him, people will be saying, silence, silence, Guruji is here, silence, silence. The more he will shout, the more noise will be. But with Swami, no volunteers telling people to keep quiet, nothing. He steps out and he commanded. It's almost all the elements came to a standstill just to watch him go to his devotees. It was amazing. And for those who have seen it, that is why we stayed 15 years with Swami. We never got tired of one darshan because we knew every time it was fascinating. There was something new. It was a new Swami. There was a new brilliance. That came from that oneness in thought, word and deed which Swami practiced. He didn't practice. I mean, that's his nature. He did that so we could understand what is the power you generate by simply living what you believe. And it's very important for us youngsters here. It's very important for anybody here to understand that if we truly become one in our thought, word, and deed, we can shake the world. We can make the world revolve around us. But we have to work towards it. We have to start working towards it. So, added to this discipline, I saw Swami's determination. The sense of determination that I saw in Swami was amazing. It blew my mind away every time. Once he was determined to do something, nothing would shake him from what he wanted to do. Like I mentioned previously, Swami stood up and announced, let's start with the college, because we started, Brother Abhi said, we joined when the college building was not built. He said, college has to start. Where, Swami? Start in the school. A college starting in the school. Only Swami can do this. Art student performing cardiac operations. Only Swami can do it. I met, when the kidney department, kidney operations were done, I met Dr. Chari in St. Louis, and he says, the operation theatre was not ready, and Swami said, you have to perform the first kidney operation tomorrow. He said, Swami, I don't have instruments, I don't have operation theatre, I don't have anything, because a devotee is a very long-standing devotee. I know him because he was working along with us in the trust. His daughter needed an operation. And Swami said, will you do it? Do you trust me? He said, yes, Swami, I trust you. Can you do it? I can do it, Swami, but no but. You can do it? Yes. Do you trust me? Yes. Go do it. And the operation was successful, beyond belief. And this doctor says, I've never done an operation like that successfully. And it worked. He says, I don't know how. I was inspired and he carried out. That determination is only possible when you believe that you are divine. You cannot fake determination. It just comes out of divinity, out of that inner discipline that Swami followed. Determination flowed right away. So when the college started, no college is ready. Ishwaramba High School, that is another institution, Swami said, that will stand 1,000 years. He said that mandir and his first school he established will stand more than 1,000 years. The mandir, he said, because these are built of stone, he said, and I've heard this from Swami directly, he said this will stand for yugas. This school and that mandir. So we started in Ishwaramba High School. I think there is an inner significance for starting in Ishwaramba. Ishwaramba, the mother teaches you the first things. The mother puts the first food in your mouth. So he wanted the boys to start their classes in the Ishwaramba High School, even though he was starting his own project. It's like, you buy a home, but the first thing you want your mother is to come and bless your home. So he built a bigger building than the Ishwaramba High School. He named that Transfer Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Well, not then, but then Transfer Sai College it was, the Transfer Sai College. But then he wanted to begin. His devotion to his mother was fascinating. He said, but he didn't tell us about all this. This is the things I'm trying to understand. And I'm trying to learn through his actions. He proved to us. Start in Ishwaramba High School. Humble beginnings. Infinite dreams. The bigger your dreams are, let your beginnings be humble. Don't be afraid of the end. The goal will be reached. You can conquer the whole world. Leave that aside. Work and be humble with the beginning. Start with prayer, in humility, and everything will be powered by God. He will take over it. I have not doubted it at all, because we saw Swami doing that. One step at a time. One step at a time. Never once. So the college started, and Swami is calling us within a year and saying, how many of you want to be in Sai University? We looked at Swami and said, yes, Swami, but none of us believed. None of us believed that it's possible. What do you mean university? There are only 2 colleges, one in Anantapur, one in Puttaparthi, well 3, and one in Vrindavan. 3 colleges, how will that become university? I was a witness for one dialogue between Swami and a few senior devotees. He is asking them, what does it take to make a university? Like very innocently. When the child wants to go to Disneyland, if she's a smart child, he's a smart child. He says, Dad, can you tell me something about Disneyland? Can you tell me about the fun kids have? And the father's heart will melt and say, okay, I'll take you, right? But Swami will be like that. So can you tell me what is this university? And how does this university, what happens? So then these educated people, Swami, and then they got a chance now to explain. So Swami, university had to be set up. We need to get approval. Whose approval? There's a University Grants Commission. You have to get an approval from them, and then they will come and visit the college, and we have to have certain standards. Standards, and what do they need? Good chairs, good tables? No, Swami, not just that. We need laser technology in the physics lab. We need something. They just use big words, and these are so-called educational people who are in Bangalore, who are devotees of Swami. So Swami called them and asked them these things. And I was listening to this, thinking Swami is trying to understand how to make university. So I'm thinking, yo, Papa, Swami is going to try to make this university. He's trying to learn. Little did I know that this is like that kid waiting to go to candy store or the Disneyland. Swami said, oh, okay. So when they come, all this has to be ready? Yes. So, but we don't have anything ready. Yes, Swami. It will take some time, Swami, but definitely we will somehow make it happen. Swami said, no, you know what? You tell them to come now. So this person looked to Swami, and as if Swami didn't understand, Swami, but nothing is ready. The college is just being built. You tell them to come. So these people, I'm sure they bit their tongue and made this call to Delhi to arrange for the University Grants Commission to come. They must have thought I'm risking my whole reputation, my career. Because that is how Swami got it done. Just to show you, like, yeah, send them, let us see what will happen. They came, they went through the college, they stayed in the rooms in the ashram, and some of us were assigned to taking care of them. And evening came, Swami called them all inside for the interview. There were about 20 people or something. And Swami called them inside for the interview. Swami spoke to them. We don't know what happened inside that interview room. Nobody knows. All I know is that one 8th grade dropout is sitting and talking to the highest educationists in the country. That we knew. And we didn't know what the outcome would be. They came out, we still don't know what it was, but a week later, Swami came proudly, called us inside. Do you know? Have you heard? What, Swami? Transfer Sai University granted. It was like the kid saying, I made it to Disneyland. I did it. This was how, in his own childishness, in his own innocence, he just went and got things done. Nothing shook his determination. Nothing. No amount of logical thinking and all the obstacles that has to be crossed. None of that stopped him from what he wanted to do. Yeah, all these obstacles will always be there. Let's go get the job done. Let's go for the best. And I've seen that the most successful who will just go for it. They will not wait and say, let's cross one step at a time. Let's go straight there. Let's talk to the best person who can make decisions. Let's go try and talk to them. I admire that quality in people, and I know these are the people who achieve because Swami had that quality. What does it take? That person? Yeah, call him. Let me talk to him. That confidence, that level of determination that Swami showed was amazing. And to me, I think that is something we need to take home as devotees of Swami. We have wishes, we have desires, we have goals, we have ambitions, but it is a test of our determination. And I think if we go straight for the best and the best vision I can have, things start falling in place. The same thing with the hospital. Swami just announced there will be a super specialty hospital when there was nothing around. And he announced the date and the time. Swami was determined to inaugurate the hospital. He invited the President of India. The President of India was late. Swami said, let him be late. This is my hospital. I will inaugurate it. Nobody ever dared do it. So he went, he took the ribbon, took the scissor and cut the ribbon himself and opened the hospital. What a blessing for that hospital. And Swami did it. We are very happy when he said, yes, finally Swami did it himself. Because for us, Swami had to do it. It has all mattered for Swami for us. But when he is determined to do something, he will just do it. Nothing would shake that determination. That was something I took home. And I'm reminded of this beautiful stanza from Bhaja Govindam that talks to us about this. And let me sing that for you. of this beautiful passage is, when you grow old, even your own kith and kin will not be able to take care of you. It is a fact of life. It is not that they are bad. It is a fact of life. They cannot take care of you as much as they would like to. You will be old and you will be waiting to pass on into the next life. At that time, don't think you're going to chant the name of God. Your senses will be weak, your body will be weak, you'll be too weak. Chant the name of God now and be determined to cross the ocean of life with His name on your lips. Yavadvittu parjana saktah stavan nija parivaro raktah. Yavadvittu parjana saktah stavan nija parivaro raktah. Yavadvittu parjana saktah stavan nija parivaro raktah. Pasya jivati jarjara dehe. Pasya jivati jarjara dehe. Vartam kopina prischati dehe. Vartam kopina prischati ge. Let's sing. Nandishwara he Nataraja. Nandishwara he Nataraja. Nandatmaja Hari Narayana. Nandatmaja Hari Narayana. Narayana Hari Narayana. Narayana Sai Narayana. Nagabharana Namah Shivaya. Nada Swarupa Namo Namo. Namo Namo. Nandatmaja Hari Narayana. Hari Narayana. Narayana Sai Narayana. Narayana Sai Narayana. Narayana Sai Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. How wonderful it would be if this name just keeps ringing in the depths of our soul as we go not from one day to another, not from one week to another, not from one month or 1 year or 1 decade, but from one life to another. The name of Narayana, Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana, echoes in the depths of our soul that guides and protects us. The idea of determination to me was taught by Swami in another way, and I use this anecdote to share it is in this context. Once my father met with an accident in Haryana when he was there and I was in Baba's ashram. And not an accident, he was actually robbed and beaten very badly. And he was robbed because it was a village, he was an accountant, so the villagers knew he was an accountant. They somehow thought accountants carry the money with them and walk everywhere around. I don't know what they were thinking. He probably did, I don't know. So they beat him up and robbed him of some cash, not much, but that was not the point. The point was he was beaten badly and he was in the hospital and all that. And I was in Puttaparthi and I got to know about it after he got well and he was released. So he didn't want me to get worried and come all the way. So they just kept it quiet, and then they told me after everything was over. When I heard that story, first of all, I felt very helpless that I was in Puttaparthi and my father had to go through this and I couldn't help him. But then, after reading that, a greater question came to my mind. I said, my father is such an innocent, very sincere, very straightforward person. He does his puja all time. I mean, every morning he would be up at 3 o'clock and do his puja for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Nothing changed that. He slept at 1 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock at night. It didn't matter. He would be up, get up in the morning, and he will do his puja. He was so strict in his principles. He was so devoted to his gods. He was so much spiritual in his approach to life. I thought, why would something bad happen to him? I was a young boy. I wanted to understand these things. Why would bad things happen to good people? That question started eating into me. Why would bad things? So where is the question of determination? How would people start keeping up and sticking to what they want to believe if something bad happens to them? Where is the motivation? You know, somebody works hard, then you motivate him. Yeah, here's the reward, take it. If you say, get out of my office, you stink, go work harder. You say goodbye, I'll look for another job. Everybody wants a pat in the back. But this life teaches you different lessons. If you're doing good and something bad happens to you. So rather than asking Swami, why did my father undergo this? Because I thought that was a ridiculous thing. Because that was not my problem. My question was, why would bad things happen to good people? And therefore I wrote a very philosophical, quote-unquote philosophical letter. Swami, you teach this and it's so nice to hear, but then there are bad things happening to good people. Some people meet with an accident, indirectly of course, but then question was that. I folded it, kept it in my pocket, and I was working in Swami's room, but you know, just because you're in Swami's room doesn't mean you can go give letters to Swami and talk about your personal matter. You're just there. If he talks to you, you answer, otherwise you're just standing. There could be days Swami wouldn't look at you, inside that room also. And you just do your work and you just accept things as they are. So I kept the letter in my pocket thinking, I don't know if I should give, not give, but I just said, let it be, I'll think about it. And I wanted to just mull over it. And so I was standing and Swami had to go upstairs to his room. He has to pass through a very narrow door. I was just standing there as I normally do. At that moment I had forgotten that this letter is jutting out of my small envelope is jutting out of my pocket. And so when Swami went, he took that from my, hey, what is that? And he pulled my letter and he took out. He didn't even ask, what is it for me? Nothing. He just took it and went off upstairs. I'm like, oh my God. He took it. I didn't even have time to think whether I should still give it to Swami or not. He took the letter and went off. I said, oh my gosh, he's going to read that letter, and it sounded very philosophical. I don't know, Swami will say, hey, hysteria, something, you know. So I kept my fingers crossed. And then I went up later that night to touch his feet, and because he was ready to retire, Swami showed no signs at all that he read the letter. Like Brother Abhi said, we could dance in front of Swami and he can see through you. And he won't notice you are there. It was like that. He didn't seem to react to that letter at all. So I thought maybe Swami is not read it. So once he goes, anyway we had to clean all the torn letters. Because when Swami is sitting in his chair upstairs and he's reading letters, that's his only pastime, by the way. His pastime was reading letters. That's all he read. All he did was reading letters. In between letters, he'll say, what is it? He'll ask some question about the ashram or the institute or hospital or whatever. Then he'll go back to reading letters. So when he retires for the night, when he finishes reading, he'll tear them and put it in the waste paper basket. That will be full, which is next to him. That overflows. Sometimes Swami reads so many. Then he'll start putting it next to on his chair. He'll just keep it next to him, between the handle of the sofa, and he'll go on putting it there. And then finally when he gets up, the whole place will be a mess, so we'll have to clean it up. So I thought, okay, my letter, he has not read my letter. So he got up to go inside, and after he went, we quietly cleaned. And while cleaning, I saw that my letter was torn in pieces. So I knew Swami had opened it. Whether he read it or not, it is torn. That means I can safely assume he would have read it. I said, my God, he read my letter. And I had asked such a question, at least, you know, the eye contact would have been there, something to show that I read a letter. And there was no sign. So I just said, I don't know, I won't risk it anymore. No more letters to Swami. I'll keep quiet about it. Maybe Swami will answer it in his own time. So I removed it, put it in the basket and came off. Oh my gosh, I have only 5 minutes. Can I take 5 more minutes? No, that is dangerous. Till midnight? Okay, I will finish the story because it's a very powerful and important story that we have to take home. It's worth sitting 5 minutes more, so bear with me. Till 8 o'clock? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. 2 or so weeks passed and I had completely forgotten about this letter. Now the way I'm telling you, I'm giving you a background to the story. There's the epilogue and the prologue and all that, so you are following the story, but when it's actually happening, it's a whole different experience. So I had completely forgotten about this letter, about this question I had. Certain questions come up, you don't find answers and you let it be. Someday you will know, life will teach you, God will show you a sign, you'll learn the answer. And we all experience that. So I said, okay, one day, God, Swami will maybe speak about it in a discourse or something. I left it. An afternoon, Swami had finished his lunch and gone, so I was busy cleaning the plates. And we had to clean it very quietly. Everything in Swami's presence was done. You had to watch out every step you took, every tumbler you keep it down on the glass. When I'm going back to Puttaparthi days, I'm using the same terms we used to there. Instead of a glass of water, we said tumbler of water. Right? So when you keep a glass down, you have to keep it carefully in Swami's presence because any little sound, he will hear it upstairs. So I was very careful, as I was previously, in washing the vessels, slowly and then putting it away to dry. And as I was washing, the last glass was there left over. And as you wash the dishes, from the leftovers, it keeps pouring into the glasses which is on the sink, right? So for those of us who wash vessels. And so I looked at the final glass and I was like, oh my gosh, all this rasam and sambar, whatever there was leftovers mixed up and it was all full of, oh, I have to clean this. Just a thought, just engrossed in what I was doing. As I picked up the last glass to wash, hey, I heard this, hey, now, what are you doing? And I froze first of all. That hey sound just was deep from me. I knew it was not from within me. Though I'd have loved it. But I looked back and I saw Swami just right here. He had come in very quietly. Because of the sound of the tap or whatever, I didn't notice, but he was right there. I immediately said, Swami. And he came, what are you doing? Iyer, chi. He's echoing our thoughts. He always echoed what is right there on your mind. Chi. Yentra Galisu. What is this dirt? And then he started opening the tap. Chi. Let it go. I had put the glass under the tap, so he started opening the tap. Let it come out. And then what happened, as the water started flowing, the dirt started coming out. Right? From the force of the tap, the dirty water started overflowing. All this is common sense, but he's making it a beautiful life lesson, which I never forget, and I hope you don't either. And then he turned to me. He said, Chudu. I said, what, Swami? He said, see what is happening. As the good water is going and all the bad water is coming out. And then he stopped. Quickly he stopped. Because the bad water is coming out, you stop doing the good. You stop doing good. Now good and bad is mixed. Confusion, doubt, confusion. Do good. He kept on opening the tap till it was absolutely full. He said, do good. In Telugu it is Bhaya Bhranti. Actually it's Sanskrit, but Swami's Telugu is almost 80% Sanskrit. It's so pure. He said, me bhayamlu, me brantlu, your fears and your illusions and your vasanas are coming out. To our follow-up of our discussion. He said, let your vasanas come out. Do good. Continue doing good. Let the vasanas come out. And then, within 2 minutes, as he finished saying this, he said, oh, now he was like back to his 5-year-old. See, now clean. Everything good. Good in, good out. Good in, good out. Where is bad? Everything is good. Everything is good. And then he turned and says, good is God. God is good. Good is God. God is good. He kept on muttering, good is God. God is good. Walked away. And I was left there stunned at that lesson. That yes, bad things happen, but it is only the past, previously held delusions, fears that come to us as external circumstances. Because the world is a reflection, is an extension of who you are. Nothing happens outside your control. In the sense, whatever you're reaping is based on the past. But that doesn't mean you're a sinner. You have a chance now to end it once and for all. By doing what? Go out and do good. Think good, speak good, act good, keep doing good, good, good. Let it come out. Tell it, yeah, finish it fast. The more intensely you do good, the more faster will all the previous vasanas get burnt out. But if you, in your fear, stop doing good, then what happens? You stay back confused and in doubt for the rest of your life, and in the next lifetime, and in the next lifetime. So when something bad happens to us, let's not question. I want to end this with a... Oh, I still have time. Okay. But it's such a powerful lesson, and I want to sing a song. I wanted to sing a song, and I think I have time, because this is not just shared by devotees of Swami. This is not something about the bad thing coming out, about the idea of determination. This is not something shared by Swami himself, but this is shared by the Vedas, by the Upanishads, by every devotee of God who has experienced God has told you, have faith in Him, and when He decides to purify you and cleanse you, when He decides to graduate you from one level to another level, just go with the flow. Trust Him. My dear sisters and brothers, when you sleep, you have to wake up in the morning, you set an alarm. You go turtle watching at, what is the place? Mathura. You come back at 2 o'clock at night. And then you have to go for a meeting at 8 o'clock next morning. You have only 5 hours of sleep. So what do? You say, I have to get up. You choose the best app on iPad, the most soothing one which will wake you up gently. Yet, however soothing the alarm is, you will never like to get up. The next day they say, sleep 12 hours. Oh yeah, fine. You again choose the most soothing app. When the alarm rings, however soothing, nature sounds, birds chirping, waterfalls, the bells ringing, Om Sai Ram chanting, even that will be like, oh Swami, not now. We do not like to be woken up. We do not like to be woken up. And troubles and sorrows are gifts from God to wake us up. Trust me. And you know it. This is what I'm saying is something we all know. Satsangs are only reaffirming what we've always believed. That's the beauty of satsang. There's nothing new I'm sharing. Nothing new that Swami shared. We all know it. So He gives you a piece of turbulence in your life, whatever it may be, just to wake you up, and gladly accept it. Swami tells us this story. I've still not come to the song, but he wants me to tell these things to you, so let me continue. Swami told us this beautiful story about 2 disciples sitting at the feet of the Guru, and both of them asking, when will we get liberation? When will we get liberation? And the Guru looks at one boy and says, you will get liberation in your next lifetime. And that boy says, oh, one more lifetime? Baba, please help me. Teach me something that I can do in this lifetime. The Guru says, no. You have one, after this you have one more lifetime, then you will get moksha. That disciple is very sad. One more lifetime. I have to go through all this again. Then the next disciple is eagerly waiting, what about me? And the master looks at him and says, for you, my son, it will take another 10,000 lifetimes. And this disciple starts crying in joy. He says, at least I know there is liberation round the corner. I don't care if I have to take 20,000, 50,000. In 10,000, I know I am getting liberated. Oh my God, thank you so much, Guru. It is your grace. 2 men looked through the prison bars. There's a quote, and I don't remember who it is, but it's not mine. 2 men looked through the prison bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. It is up to us, our perception. Receive it as prasad. Accept it as prasad and say, yeah, okay. This life ends this way, fine. Next life, I will face it. Give more and more to me. I don't care. Because I know that the deepest held illusions and delusions and fears deeply embedded in my soul is now going on. We have evolved from the tiniest of creatures. So instincts of survival, instincts are very deeply rooted. We have to break that and go into the state of divinity. That has to happen over lifetimes. And so if it is one lifetime after the other, we have come here to this point where we are actually sitting and contemplating on this idea, it's because of His grace. And so welcome it. We are round the corner. Maybe just another 5,000-10,000 lifetimes. Hey, we know that it is there. So let's welcome it. Welcome it. Personally, I don't mind. I'm not after liberation at all. I don't mind coming again and again, because you get chance to serve, to experience God, to love God, to experience divinity, and to share that. The ant who tastes the sugar is probably luckier than sugar itself. I like to be the ant. I want to keep tasting His love and His sweetness. This beautiful bhajan is by Swami Brahmanand, and I'm going to sing parts of it. And you people are going to help me with the music. And I'll tell you how. Om Hari Om. Let's chant together. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. Om Hari Om. Jo bhaje Hari ko sada सोई परम पद पाएगा जो भजे हरि को सदा सोई परम पद पाएगा जो भजे हरि को सदा सोई परम पद पाएगा सदा सोई परम पद पाएगा। ओम हरि ओम। ओम हरि ओम। देह के माला तिलक अरु छाप नहीं कछु काम के. The tilak and all those rituals by themselves are of no use. देह के body माला तिलक अरु छाप नहीं कछु काम के. प्रेम भक्ति के बिना नहीं नाथ के मन भाएगा. जो भजे हरि को सदा सोई परम पद पाएगा. ओम हरि ओम. ओम हरि ओम. दिल के दर्पण को सफा कर दूर कर अभिमान को. Clean your heart and clean your heart out and keep the ego away. दिल के दर्पण को सफा कर दूर कर अभिमान को. खाक हो गुरु के कदम की. खाक हो गुरु के कदम की. This is the most beautiful line. Become the dust of the feet of the Guru. Become the dust. खाक हो गुरु के कदम की तो प्रभु मिल जाएगा. जो बजे हरि को सदा सोई परम पद पाएगा. ओम हरि ओम. ho Guru ke charan ki, kadam ki, to Prabhu mil. You will get the Lord only when you become a dust. It's an oxymoron, it's a riddle. You're not there anymore to get the God, but you will get it. What have you become? You have become the dust. Only when you cease to exist will you find God. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Khalil Gibran, and I want to end this beautiful satsang with this very powerful poem that explains why we should be determined and be more determined in times of trouble. Baba is the embodiment of love, and so is Mother Sai. The way you look at him as a cosmic guru, the cosmic father, the divine mother, the friendly brother, whoever you look at Swami, whatever he means to you, his is love. When love beckons you, follow him. When love beckons you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings enfold you, yield to them, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, listen to him, though his words may shatter your dreams as a northwest wind lays waste the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he ascends to the very heights and caresses your tenderest branches that quiver in the morning sun, so shall he descend to your very roots and shake them in their clinging to the earth. For all this love shall do unto you, so you may know the secrets of your own heart. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you unto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He grinds you to whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he offers the sacred bread into the sacred fire so that you may become sacred feast. And in that process you will recognize, know and understand the secrets of your own heart. But if you, in your fear, would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, the poet says, then walk out of the love's threshing floor. Walk out. Go back into the seasonless world where you will laugh but not all your laughter, and you will cry but not all your tears. Love gives not but itself, and it takes not but from itself, for love is sufficient unto love. Jai Sai Ram. Shivaya Namah Shiva, Shivaya Namah Shiva, Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shivaya Namah Shiva, Shivaya Namah Shiva, Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namah Shiva, Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya.